Hey, what's up, guitar dudes and dudettes?
What's shaking? What's shaking?
How's everybody doing out there tonight?
Man, I didn't even realize we were live.
You didn't realize we were live?
Didn't realize we'd gone live yet.
I said
I
45
was so
seconds.
ill prepared. I know you said 45 seconds. I'm so ill prepared.
I gave you the countdown. You're polishing your guitar. You're busy
Yeah.
polishing your guitar. What is up, Wire Nuts? Welcome to the
Hey.
Live Wires, show number 13.
Indeed.
Going down tonight.
Whew, 13, man. We've been doing this 13 weeks.
Lucky
Let's
13.
see. Let's see who we got. Who we got tonight? I see
Who we got
Joe
out
Hervey.
there?
I see Mr. Joe Hervey and Mr. Terry Himes.
Joe's
I see,
always waiting. He's always in the chat
yeah.
early waiting.
I see Six String Brian. How you doing tonight, Brian?
What's up, Brian?
Tim Seymour, Mitch Heyman. Hope you're enjoying that new sweatshirt, man. Thank you again.
Yeah. Seen those pictures on Facebook.
Yep. Saw those pictures. Those look great. Dale Palmer. Good evening for you, sir. There's David Ennis. How you doing tonight, David? Hope you're well. Clack, 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 clack.
I know,
Beat
I'm
it,
trying
man.
to-
Beat it.
I'm trying to type softly. I need a soft touch keyboard.
Bobby Lopez, how you doing tonight, man?
By the way, how
So-
are our mics?
oh.
Last week somebody mentioned in the chat that one of our mics was hotter than the other one. Do we sound equal or okay?
Soda and milk. Good evening to you, Soda. Soda! It's
What up,
Soda!
Hi, soda.
How you doing, buddy?
Is soda and milk like a root beer float with an ice cream melted?
Yeah, maybe.
That would be kind of the same thing.
There's
wouldn't it?
Crowbar. Hey, Crowbar. And
Hey,
there's Janice
Crow.
Lala.
Hey, Janice.
Jimmy
Jimmy.
Biter.
Hey, Tim.
So Tim
He
says
says
it
it
sounds
sounds
good.
great. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
There's
Sounds
Chicken
good from
Guitars.
here. Chicken Guitars in the house. We got our
Daniel
mods. So we can
Horsley.
officially start the show.
Yeah.
The band hammer has
band
arrived.
the band hammer has arrived. Yes, it has. the put people in timeout person.
Absolutely.
Crowbar the trivia extraordinaire, man. You should go on Jeopardy
Write a
with
book,
that,
dude. Yeah, go on Jeopardy. Good plan.
Man,
That's a good idea.
I think you'd give old Ken a run for his money.
This Ken, the reigning champion.
Yeah, I think still he won like $1 million, man, on Jeopardy.
That's a lot of Jeopardy winning.
Tonight it's burnt tires night. I have
No,
my,
Six String Brian. He wants to know if I bought a motorcycle. It's getting ready to be winter, dude. I might buy a snowmobile. I don't want to. Actually, if you want to buy a motorcycle, this is a good time to buy them because they want to
Yeah.
blow out the inventory. They don't want to pay taxes on them January 1.
Unless you live here.
I bought I'm talking about in Ohio. I bought a Sea-Doo like that one time, got a swinging deal. They wanted to get rid of it before January 1, and I had it all brand new, ready to rock in the spring.
All right, on.
Yeah, so
Oh,
hey
let's
man,
see.
you ready to ring this? You got any house cleaning tonight? Besides
that's what I was-
rocking the new shirts.
Rocking the new shirts, yeah. My the all over print shirts. Oh, I wish I'd have saved it until tonight. And that's the only shirt we're offering on Teespring. I know they're a little more expensive, but those are killer.
They're
shirts,
nylon.
man.
They're not cotton.
they're-
they're more of a slick nylon.
They're
I noticed I got mine, and they're a little bit. So this is a medium, fits me perfect. The medium in that style is a little bit bigger. So if
Okay.
you're between a large and a medium, you might want to get the medium.
there you go. So anyway,
Dave don't have that
yes.
problem.
No, it's XL for me, buddy. All the way around. Maybe one of these days I'll drop back down into a medium or a large.
There you go.
There's Lars. Lars Guitar. How you doing, Lars?
Hey Lars, what's up, Larry?
Yeah.
Hey, Brad.
Larry. Brad.
Brad Miller in the house.
Yeah.
David Ennis is out there. I don't know if you mentioned David. I see David.
I did.
Cool.
So-
So you want to bring this guest on?
Yeah,
man?
we'll go ahead and get the show. There's Hack. Good evening to you, Mr.
What's
Hack.
up, Hack? I thought you were
Congrats
in
on
practice, man.
Nope, that was last night.
Oh,
And
congrats on
on
the 1K.
1K subs. Yep, good job, buddy. So anyway, well, you guys know who it is. But our special guest tonight comes from down the road from me in Mesa, Arizona. He is the owner and proprietor of Zimm's Guitars. It is Mr. Dane Zimmerman.
It's cousin. It's cousin.
Cousin It.
Hey guys,
Good one, man.
how are you guys doing today? Thanks for
Doing
having
good,
me.
man.
Great. That was classic,
This is
man.
super
Thanks for
cool.
joining us, dude.
No problem. No problem.
It's been almost 2 weeks since we've
2
been
weeks,
in,
a little over
since we were in your
2
shop.
weeks. Yeah.
But we had
Since you
fun. We
invaded
were
the
in there.
store.
Yeah, we were in the store. We just all crashed the joint, man. We was like, hey, this motorcycle game kind of rolling up.
Dude, anytime, man. It gets boring in here once in a while, and so whenever I can have people and friends drop by, man, awesome.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. We were had a lot of fun in your shop when you were
we
telling
did.
us a little bit about some of the stuff you've been doing out in California and some other things with your group that you play with. And we thought, man, you know what? Besides the guitar shop, he's got a lot of stories, I bet. So let's see if we can get Dane to come on the show, and we'll pick his brain and get some of these stories out of him.
I had a super freaking cool rock star moment over the weekend.
Oh yeah, well, tell us about it.
Well, I drove out to Santa Clarita, California. And there was a venue out there called the Canyon Club, and my
Okay.
band actually we're called the Whiskey Dogs, and we
Whiskey
opened up for
Dogs.
Dokken,
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
and
Nice.
it was freaking packed,
Oh man.
and the PA system was loud,
Right.
and we only played 6 songs, so you've got when you have to drive 360 miles to get to the show. There was a lot of reasons I could have talked myself out of wanting to do this show. You got to drive 6.5 hours to get there. You only get to play 5 or 6 songs. You don't get a sound.
20 minutes max, maybe, right? 20
Yeah,
minutes.
half hour. We were hoping a half an hour. But I mean, that was like the crowd loved us right from the very first dun 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 dun.
Nice.
Right when we
Yeah.
and you could tell that the crowd loved it. And yeah, it was like a freaking huge rock star moment for me there.
Awesome.
And lots of fun. And it's really, when you're there, then it's all worth it. And the drive and everything is like, that drive was nothing, man. I'll do that anytime.
Right. So the drive home afterwards, because now you don't got nothing to look forward to. The drive home takes twice as
But
long. It's like,
I was still pumped up. And I took my son with me. He's 23 years old, and he's got a brand new car. And I'm like, Brighton, let me drive your car. And he goes, I'll go with you. And I'm like, awesome. So my son was playing roadie. He worked on video stuff for me. And so I tried to get a video out of this. And I still got some footage, and I haven't gotten around to doing any editing or anything yet. But the guy's name, the bass player of Dokken, his name is Chris Lee. I think his last name is Lee. And he built his own bass guitar. He built it. He went to Home Depot. He bought a piece of wood. He built his own guitar. And I saw
Les Paul log on it, huh? He's got him. It's 2x4.
a couple years ago, I saw them at the Rainbow Room. They played like the backyard party at the Rainbow Room. And Don Dokken was on stage with him and says, hey, here's our new bass player. He's awesome. And he built this guitar. And I'm like, wow, he built that guitar. And so having a guitar channel, I was like, you know what? That's my interview right there. I'm telling my son as we're driving out to Cali, that's my interview right there. So,
Yeah.
So Dokken's doing the sound check. We get there at 4:00 in the afternoon. Dokken's doing their sound check. Don Dokken's nowhere to be seen. He doesn't participate in sound check. He doesn't need to. The band does it for him.
That's what the guitar
so-
tech's for.
There's the bass player, and he's on stage, and I see him backstage. I I was in the backstage kitchen area, and I had my bass around me, and I was warming up. And he's like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing great." After a few minutes, I said, "Hey, man, you built that bass, didn't you?" And he was on stage doing his sound check. And he goes, "Yeah, dude, check it out." And he let me play it. So I'm basically doing Dawkins sound check. And I'm like, "Hey, man, I have a guitar shop in Mesa, Arizona, and I do YouTube videos about guitars and stuff. Can I interview you about your bass?" He's like, "Hell yeah, bro. Let's start." So I take my camera out. I'm like, "Hey, I'm here with Chris from Dawkins." And, you know, I start the interview. And the manager of the whole place is like, no, you can't do that here. We're trying to
manager of the venue?
Yes, the manager of the venue. And he works with the sound guy. I don't think it was the house sound guy. I think it was the manager of the venue. He's like, no. So Chris is nice enough to go, "Hey, man, let's just go into the backstage area." So we go back into the backstage area. I get my camera. I start over. "Hey, I'm with Chris from Dawkins, and he built this bass." The guys come running into the back. No. We need him on stage right now.
Oh, man. So, they were being royal pricks.
They were. So I said, "Okay, that's fine." And he's a super great guy, man. And he sings like a bird. And the bass was awesome. But I probably have about 4 minutes of.
Did these guys know you were in the opening band?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. No, I was probably just some dude hanging around, but I had a bass in the back. So they probably figured I did. But.
You would have thought they could have put 2 and 2 together. Maybe you guys are buddies and I should leave them alone.
No,
I think Joe Hervey summed it up best.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what? They're there to do a job. I was just getting in the way. You know what I'm saying?
They were trying to get their sound check shit done. And
yeah.
You were monkeying up. They probably had stuff to do afterwards before the show. They wanted to go.
Exactly. And then, you know, so I
get their cocaine
after that. But I figured I had, 4 minutes of 2 different takes. And then I can do a little intro myself. And then I could show a little bit of us playing afterwards and maybe do a little thing by myself and just throw him in a little bit of the footage that I have. So I will get a video up about my Dawkins show.
That's pretty awesome. That's
probably
good.
Tomorrow night, maybe.
That's a good story. We do this thing on here, Dane. We call it the guest Q&A. So everybody gets hit with these questions, and they get changed up week to week depending on the guest. But we've got some prepared questions for you. Are you? We lost Dave for a minute. Are you ready to get quizzed here? They're not too hard or personal.
Bring them on.
Just gives all of us and everybody watching a chance to get to know you a little bit better. Basically,
bring it on.
All right. So the first one is and I know in your band you play bass, but you're also a guitar player. So we want to know, how long have you been playing the guitar, and how did that come about? Who or what was your inspiration to try it out?
I started playing guitar when I was 14.
Okay.
And I'm an old man now.
We talked in the green room before the show that you grew up in not too far from where I live right now in Ohio. But go ahead, continue. We'll circle back to that later.
Yeah, we're like neighbors, but I've been out.
We're neighbors.
In Arizona since I think 1980 was the year we moved out here. I remember being on the airplane moving to Phoenix and hearing about dude from AC, Bon Scott dying.
Oh yeah,
moving to Phoenix. Bon Scott died. Bummer.
That would have been like 79-ish, probably.
79.
Yeah, I think so.
And as far as influence, some of the first tunes that I learned on guitar was I took guitar lessons in a little town right next to Granville. And
so this was before you moved, when you were still in high school.
When I was 14 years old, I took guitar lessons, and I still remember my teacher's name. His name was Ken Yeager, just like the legendary
the astronaut
or whatever.
Astronaut.
Astronaut Ken Yeager.
Chuck Yeager.
Kenny Yeager. Lessons from Kenny Yeager, and we worked on the Frampton Comes Alive album. The first Boston album had just came out, and we were way into that first Boston album. And so, yeah, we kind of started right with that kind of stuff. So Frampton's always been like, you know, I can always get a Peter Frampton album out and set the needle down on it and get through it, you know.
Be in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Were mom and dad supportive in your endeavor? Did they help get you the guitar and pay for the lessons and that kind of stuff, or did you have to do it on your own?
No, they did. They helped me. Christmas of 1977, they bought me from a music store in Newark, Ohio. They bought me a Fender Bandmaster, a 1967 Fender Bandmaster, and I still have that amp to this day.
Dane, I bet you that guitar shop is still there, because the one that's there that I go to is called Guitar Guys, and it's been there for a long, long time. Same old guy owns it. I wonder if it's the same place. I bet it is.
I think it was Christmas of 1977. They bought me a Fender Bandmaster. I had a little Big Muff pedal. And I had an Ovation electric, kind of like an ES335 sort of a guitar.
Yeah.
And I don't know what model that thing was, but that's what they bought me for Christmas.
Nice.
And out of this, in 1977, you're in a little town of 3,000 people. I had the coolest guitar tone out of any kid in
I bet. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, just like that.
Killer. So they helped you with the lessons and all that stuff too. That's cool. Plus you did athletics. When did guitar start taking over the athletics?
Oh, probably freshman year of high school.
You're like, I like this better than that. I'm getting more chicks from this than I was from that.
I actually had a really good little league baseball career because I could throw a curveball. Me and my older brother be in the backyard playing baseball all day.
Yeah.
And I could throw a curveball, and there wasn't a kid in our little town that could hit my curveball. So I got to be in the All-Star game and all kinds of stuff like that. But then once they took the 45 foot from the
66 inches.
Yeah, once they moved you to regulation distance, from little distance to regulation, my curveball just was like, you know, I didn't have the same touch on it.
It didn't have enough snap to get up there. And
yeah, I mean, I was still a pitcher as a freshman, but I got in a bunch of trouble and hung out with a gang of guys, and we all got in trouble.
Got a guitar, just went all rebel.
Yeah.
Just went all rebel. Grew your hair long.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
What happened.
You kind of answered this. The next question was the first guitar that you had. Do you still have it?
No, and
gone?
no, I remember though playing it somewhere about 1982. I think I remember playing it in my parents' garage, trying to get. Of course, I still lived at home, trying to get a band together. And I remember the binding on the neck was coming off and falling off and everything, and so it kind of had a tough life. And I don't know what I did with it.
Traded it for something better, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Possibly.
And then
right.
that same year, 1984, I met this dude that, you know, hey man, let's jam. I met this dude named Mark, and he showed up and played Eruption. And I was like, oh. So I'm like, bro, I'll be your bass player.
There you go. Oh, so that's how the bass came about.
Yeah. So when you see somebody with that much talent, and, you know, your dream is to always be in a band, you try to get the most talented guys around. Since I saw this kid that could play Eruption, and we were playing TNT and all kinds of stuff, that I decided to just go into bass.
So that's when you flicked over to the 4 strings. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Bass is cool, man. Bass looks like fun to me, I think. But I haven't tried one yet, so maybe I need to add a bass to the collection. Maybe I'm a bass player and I just don't know it. So you maybe kind of touched on this a little bit too, but what was the first album that you ever had? And do you still have it?
The first album that my mom bought me was The Fifth Dimension.
Oh yeah.
And so it had one, what was the song? I don't know, but one cup of coffee song or something. But and
we're all over the radio, The Fifth Dimension.
yeah,
when we were kids, because we're about the same age, I think, pretty close to it.
And then the first album that I paid cash for that I actually scraped up somewhere was Elton John's Greatest Hits.
Oh, that's a good one. Can't beat
So
that.
I guess it was 70, 75 or somewhere
Right.
in that
Pinball
neighborhood.
Wizard had to have been on there.
Yeah, so that's what I used to do as far as collecting records. I would get the Greatest Hits album. So I had Elton, I had America's Greatest Hits.
America, yeah.
I had
Aren't they the ones that wrote the song that rode through the desert on a horse with no name, or is that a different band? Yeah, that's right. That's where you guys live now.
so I would get Chicago's Greatest Hits, and I still love
Chicago.
But yeah, I would
our guest last week was a big Chicago guy.
My older brother, that's 3 years older than me, though, he was the dude that would bring home AC/DC, Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd. He would bring those albums home, and so I was like, wow, lots different than my Elton John album, Crocodile Rock.
Black Sabbath, Elton John.
Yeah.
Slightly different genre.
Sounds like my taste. It's like
Exactly. All right. But do you still have it? Do you still have it stashed away somewhere? Probably no. Yeah, long gone.
No,
You move a lot, like I have moved everywhere. A lot of my stuff's just
I
filtered.
still have a copy of it. I have the original copy, but I'm one of those kind of guys that loves collecting a few kind of things. And my ex-mother-in-law was like, well, you're just so stuck in the 80s and obsessed with the 80s. That's why you collect all your old albums, and that's why you collect old concert t-shirts. And I'm like, okay, fine.
What's wrong with that? The
I know.
80s were awesome, man.
I know it.
I'm glad I lived through them. I'd be disappointed if I missed the 80s, man.
yeah, that makes two of us.
Yeah.
At least two of us.
Yeah. I was a young man in the 80s. I had some fun. The 80s were good. All right. Next question. This is a little bit flash forward and more into the future. What led you to the decision that you needed to own a guitar shop? How'd we get from bass player with the kid that could rip off some Van Halen licks to now we got Zimm guitars in Arizona?
It was just that whole mindset that where I loved collecting stuff. And so I probably, had, once you get to a certain age and your kids are grown up and everything, then you could, you're walking around pawn shops and stuff and you see a cool old Kramer or something. It's like $200 and you're like, I can afford that now. So I started kind of collecting guitars.
Then you need a place to put them.
Yeah, that's true. And I would go and I'd buy a guitar or something, and my girlfriend would say, "Why are you buying that?" I'm like, "Honey, I can make like $40 on this thing."
Yeah. Easy money.
Just by flipping guitars. So I just started flipping guitars, and I would try to flip drum sets and stuff like that too. And
you'd be hitting the flea markets and the garage sales and finding sweet gear and then selling it for double what you paid.
Yeah, shine it up and sell it, and it's a fun little hobby to have.
There you go. Well, we've been in your shop. It's a cool little shop, man. I like shops like your shop a lot better than I like corporate shops because you never know what you're going to see in there, right?
I get stuff that gets traded in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's okay.
I don't have too many Martins. I don't have too many Gibsons.
You had a couple when we were in there, 2 or 3 at least.
If you get a Gibson, it's kind of strange, but I got my buddy Neals in here. Neil, do me a favor and show me. I bought a
Neals. Neals can be on the show. Bring Neals on the show. We all got to meet Neals. He can jump in with us.
Okay, yeah, come on in here, Neil.
Yeah, pull up a stool, Neals.
So for some reason, somebody just sold me this guitar.
Jump in here, buddy. Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
Oh,
here's
is that
one
like
of my
walnut natural top? This is Neal's gang. We got to meet him when he happened to be in the shop the day that Dave and I and Guitar Hack were in there, and so we got
And
to shake his hand and talk to him.
He's kind of my gearhead kind of
Does he
knowledge.
come in and hang out a lot? Does he hang out in the shop? I get the impression Neal's likes to come out and hang out in the shop.
YouTube videos. He brings me items and says, "Hey, Dane, this pedal just came out. It's an MXR brown acid. There's no YouTube videos on earth for this pedal, and I just bought one. Let's do a video about it." And I'm like, okay.
So you just took in this new SG, huh?
Yeah, I just took this in, and this is a 2019
Sweet.
SG Tribute.
Pretty.
And a guy brought this in, and the first thing I asked him is, "You got a driver's license?" And he's like, "Yeah." But it originally came with a black pickguard.
Oh, okay.
And
I
what's
kind of like
kind
the
of
green
neat
one
about
better
it
though.
is it's a maple neck.
Maple neck.
Uh-huh. And he goes, I'm like, "When did, how old is this thing?" And he goes, "I just bought it on Sweetwater." So the first thing I did is I went on Sweetwater, and sure enough, there it is. And it was $1,099 brand new on Sweetwater.
That's actually not bad, brand new. That's a pretty good price.
And he said that he changed the pickguard for some reason. It was black. It's got a couple little tiny dents. I'm like, "Why do you want to sell this?" And he goes, "Oh, man, I kind of want to get a tally." So, so I just bought this.
Nice. I know somebody else that's got an SG that might be coming to see you.
That's good, man. Come on in. Let's do some trade.
Hey, I'm all for it, man.
I don't know if these knobs are supposed to be on there.
They look good though. I kind of like those knobs over the speed. It probably came with speed knobs, I bet. Oh,
So
there's
what
the
happens
one I was talking about.
If I get guitars traded in, it's
They should be.
buy something. It should be those, huh?
Yeah,
The
It should
big
be
chrome
the top
top.
hats or whatever they call them.
the reflectors. Yeah.
But this is why this is the trade-in stuff I get. A guy bought this on Sweetwater. For some reason, he didn't bond with it. He changed the pickguard out. He had his fun. Now he wants to play with the telly, and he's willing to take a loss of about almost half his money to go out and try something
Get something else.
Yeah.
We've all done that on occasion. Some of us more than others. Well, let me ask you this question. You touched on your band a little bit at the beginning and the cool rock star experience you just got to have. Tell us a little bit more about your band and you play most of your gigs around the Phoenix area, or do you guys are you roading places when you gig?
My band is it's a cover band that I joined, believe it or not, 12 years ago.
Oh wow.
And,
That's a good role for any band. Over a decade, a good run.
Although I've been kicked out of the band, I think twice. But then
twice over 12 years. I mean, every 6 years, everybody's going to get pissed off at somebody.
And so, so we are basically a bar band, and all three of the other guys in the band have Harleys. So we're a biker band.
Gotcha.
And we've played a lot of benefit shows.
Sons of Anarchy.
That's right. And
the cops are coming.
Mostly the gigs that we played have been bar band type cover band stuff up in Scottsdale and Mesa, and we'd play biker bars and we'd do that kind of stuff.
Cool.
But my lead singer,
I bet where you guys live is biker heaven. You guys can bike year round.
Biker heaven out here. And Arizona Bike Week has always been a huge event for us. There was a bar in Scottsdale called the Billet Bar that was all just biker related.
Dave needs a Harley. Don't you think? Dave needs a Harley. Although getting a Harley in and out of Dave's house might be that first mile will be a little squirrely.
It's not the first mile. It's actually the second mile now going out.
Oh yeah, getting out of your neighborhood is what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mile. It's more than a mile.
It's 2 miles.
Dave lives out in the desert, literally 2 miles of desert road. But it's
That's
sweet
cool.
out there. So you got more of these shows coming up. Didn't you play the Whisky A Go Go recently?
Yeah, and the reason that we're doing LA gigs now is because about 2 years ago, our lead guitar player, he met a new girl. He's married to he's got a new girlfriend, and she's a redhead, and she's a singer. So he started putting a band together with her. And she's a really talented singer. They're called Scarlet Fever. And so he was getting very, very busy
Good name.
with his girlfriend and their band. So we were thinking, maybe we should get somebody to be a replacement for when he's not around, because he started booking a lot of shows. So having a guitar shop here, I met a girl that shreds on guitar. And so I brought her in as a replacement. And then after 1 or 2 practices of trying to be a 5-piece band, our original guitar player is like, dude, I'll just let her do it. I'm just going to stay with my girlfriend. And so the band, so we changed guitar players.
You had to transition.
We did. And so that took us from knowing, 50 cover tunes to knowing about a dozen songs. So if we had to do a 3.5-hour bar gig right now, we couldn't do it.
You got to get back. You got to start working up to the material again.
Yeah, but
you got to bring the new guitar player along.
She doesn't want to be a bar band. She wants to be an original band. And so we've written some new songs, and in 12 years, or in the first 11 years of the band, we wrote like one song.
Oh, okay. So
And
it's time. It's time to get creative, maybe.
Yeah. So between the two factors where we're starting to write originals, we don't know enough songs to get through a 40-song list night, and my lead singer works in Hollywood as a construction manager for a whole bunch of Hollywood movies, and he was on the Sons of Anarchy TV show on FX. Right now, he's working with the Mayans.
Yeah, I watched that show. It was on last. Yeah, I'm already into that. Season 2 already. I'm already into it.
Yeah, he's the construction manager for that show.
Cool.
So he's in
LA. Blown up in the last episode.
Yeah. So because of him, we know people in LA. So
cool. So you got some contacts out there now, right? And you said it's 6 hours to get to LA. You can make it out there with your gear.
Yeah.
It's got to be fun audience.
It's backlined. If you play the Whiskey, it's already backlined.
Yeah.
So you just take your bass and a chord.
And that's all you need.
Yeah.
Plug into what they got and go with it. Cool.
Exactly.
All right, last question, and then we'll move on a little bit. We've got some other things to share with everybody tonight in the show, like we always do. So this is the standard question everybody gets, Dane.
Okay.
If you were going to be stranded on a deserted island, but it has power, so at least you can have some toys. You get to take one guitar, one amp, one pedal, one album to listen to, and one miscellaneous luxury item. What would you take? So first one, what guitar would you take to the deserted island to entertain yourself with? Is it in the shop, or is it one at home, or one you used to? And you're not limited to what you currently own, by the way. It could be something you could pick it up on the way to the island. So it could be.
Money is no object.
Money's no object. You get to pick. It doesn't have to be. It can be something you own, but it doesn't have to be. Is what we're saying.
I can't make up my mind on guitars. I don't have a favorite.
You don't have one that's just the go-to. How about a bass?
I get in different moods on guitars. The one other band that I'm in where I play guitar, I take a Chapman ML3.
That one that was in the shop that we saw?
No, that's a different one. I have a red Chapman ML3 that I take to that gig.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm kind of on a Chapman kick right now, but I get on different phases.
Well, we'll let you take that, and you can also take a bass since you're a bass player. So what bass would you take?
I would probably take, you know what my favorite bass is right now? It's a Squier Pete Wentz signature model bass.
You just like the way it feels and
I
sounds?
just like the way it feels. I was in a band 8 or 10 years ago, and we were a hair metal band called Hollywood and Vine.
Oh, good name.
And I used to take this red bass. It's an all black bass, and it has a red pick guard with just the one volume knob. And I'd get big old red wristbands, right?
Yeah.
So I'd have this black bass, red, and big old red wristbands, and it felt natural to me. It was a cool look. And I got used to playing that bass, and I had to change it. I came across a USA pickup, and I changed the pickups out in it and everything. But then I started going to some gigs and taking different basses with me. And and I always make that mistake, or over the years, I've always made the mistake of every show, I'm going to take a different bass with me, or every gig, I'll take a different guitar with me. And I never got used to the guitar that I was playing. And then so finally, one time I had a gig, and my girlfriend's like, you should take your red bass, which is that Pete Wentz. I stuck that bass on, and I went boom, boom, boom. And it felt like coming back home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is my bass.
So that's number one. All right.
It's a Squire, but I don't care. I can do fine on a Squire.
What amp would you take? Do you have a favorite amp, guitar, or bass amp, either one, that's your go-to?
No, if I'm playing guitar, I want anything Marshall.
Marshall.
And if I'm playing bass, I want anything Ampeg.
What about a pedal? You got a pedal that you got to have in front of your guitar tone? You mentioned earlier you started off with a mini Big Muff when you were.
Yeah, the last gig that I played in August with my punk band, where I play guitar, I put a DS1, Boss DS1, in front of a Bugera 6262, and I kept the amp in its clean channel, and I used the DS1 for all your
crunch.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, you get one album, Dane. What's your go-to, can't live without, or can't get tired of album?
Probably. I'll probably say Van Halen's first album.
That's a good choice. Can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
1978. Van Halen 1.
I saw Van Halen the 1980 Invasion. This was out here in Phoenix. And so in 1980, they had just put out Women and Children First.
Yeah, I saw them on Diver Down, I think, the first time.
Then the second year I saw them, and it was in 82, I saw they opened up with All Right, Sinners Swing, right? Dun, 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 dun. They opened up with Sinner Swing. So that was off the fourth album. And then I saw them at the US Festival in 83.
You went to the US Festival?
Yeah, I was at the US Festival.
Oh, crap. Dude, that's rock and roll.
It was, man. Good time.
Everybody played the US Festival.
During the day, we all
Did you
had
get to see Motley Crue at the US Festival?
For some reason, everybody had squirt guns. And every girl that walked by, you would just spray their tits. Spray, spray, spray. It didn't matter who they were.
It's a giant wet t-shirt contest.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they weren't laced with LSD.
Yeah, probably. Did you get to see Crew at the US Festival?
I did. So the concert started out with Quiet Riot.
Yeah.
And there were these dudes wearing T-shirts that said "Bang Your Head." Quiet Riot. And I'm like, what the hell is this bang your head shit about?
What's bang your head shit about?
Yeah, I didn't know what bang your head. And they were good. I thought they were good. Then Motley Crue came on. And when you're there with 300,000 people or something, it's kind of hard to pay attention to the band.
You can't really hear it very good anyway.
But Motley played Helter Skelter, and I'm like, whoa, they're playing a Beatles tune.
Yeah. That's
all I recognized from them.
Right.
And then I think the third band was Ozzy.
Oh, yeah.
And pretty sure it was I think it was
that would have been probably Blizzard of Oz.
It was
not Blizzard of Oz. No, it should be Jakey Lee. Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah. And Rudy Sarzo.
Bark at the Moon.
Riot
Yeah, Rudy Sarzo was
Should have been Bark at the Moon.
It would have been Carla. Well, let's see. No, wait a minute. The Us
83
Festival,
would have been Bark at the Moon.
Right.
Yeah, so it would have been Carlos on guitar for quite.
And they had the keyboard player in
Yeah.
Ozzy, and there was a huge keyboard. You know what I'm saying? The keyboards were loud in the mix.
Oh,
And so, kind of being the rocker dude, I'm like, oh man, those keyboards are too loud. You know, come on,
turn the guitars up.
turn those keyboards down.
Cool. Well,
And
what's
then
your
I
one miscellaneous? What's your one miscellaneous item that you would take to the deserted island? What can you not live without? Your luxury item. You get one luxury item. It could be anything from your cell phone to your pillow to, we've had people say recording studio, helicopter, so they could leave the island. He's got to think about it.
I have no idea. I probably would. I guess I would take my blood pressure medicine with me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Got to look out for your health.
Yeah.
All right, man. We
Hey,
appreciate
there's
you taking
Lawrence.
the time to. Hey, Lawrence, what's up? LPD in the house. There might be an LPD
there-
pedal or two in the store. There might be one in the future of this show coming
You
up.
guys want to? You
There
guys
might
want to
be.
see a couple of the LPD pedals that I have in here?
Yeah, here in a minute. We're going to have a little segment on LPD pedals here in a minute.
Okay.
Right now, we need some help from the wire nuts. That's what we call our audience, Dane, because we're the live wires. We call them the wire nuts.
Okay.
So this week, Dr. Dave's tips and tricks, we're actually looking for your suggestions because he's like, I think I covered about everything. I need some help from the crew to see what they would like to learn more about. So this week, tag Dave in the chat. And if there's something that you'd like to learn about, you know, how to work on your own guitar and stuff, because you can save yourself a lot of money. So it's kind of fun.
Let me even further that. If you guys would, after the show's over, if you guys have any suggestions or anything you want me to cover, drop it in the comments below. That's easier for me to remember than seeing a tag in the chat, and I'll forget about it.
Wait a minute. What happened with Soda?
Oh, it's chicken guitars and soda.
Soda
That's their thing.
got kicked to the curb over something to do with a pumpkin. I don't know. Keep going.
So, yeah, just either post it on my Facebook or on the Late Crew or Facebook, or post it in the comments below. You know, anything like that. Hey, look at those! Look at the four handsome guys there.
What a happy bunch of guys.
That was us hanging out in the shop with his wall of fenders, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's some tasty ones hanging on that wall if you're all looking for a fender.
Okay. Yeah. So good. Like I said, all good suggestion, guys. Just drop them in the comments below, or shoot them to me. If you guys have me on Facebook, shoot them to me in a message on Facebook, or post them on the God, man, why am I brain dead? On the Late Crew
Scotch.
or on the
It's
DR
that
Guitar.
burnt tire scotch. It's killing off your brain cell.
It's
What it is.
It's really not that. Yeah, just post them on the Late Crew or somewhere where I'll see them. So that way I don't have to try to remember, because I got a good memory, but my forgetter, the older I get, is just getting better and better. So open to suggestions. Anything you guys want to see, anything you guys want to learn about, let me know.
She's chicken throughout one for you already. You might want to just cut and paste that one for next time if you want to remember it. Check him out, rocking out. There's a picture of Dane.
Look how menacing I look in that photo.
You do. You're menacing. You're very menacing.
It's like I just killed somebody or something.
I know, or could at any moment.
Yeah.
Don't jump up. Don't be stage diving off this stage. You might get hurt. Bass player might go off on you. All right, we're gonna move on quickly to the next segment of the show tonight. So tonight on These Go to 11, we got something kind of cool, something kind of key to show y'all tonight, and
I've got a green box.
The Lawrence Petros Designs 2 Ravens.
Ravens.
It's pretty. Is. I know that right off the bat. I like it.
It is.
Show it. I'll bring you into the solo layout.
It is quite the looker for a pedal. That's for sure. But this is Lawrence's new design. This is his take on a 1970s ram's head big muff. So like, if you guys are looking for that like David Gilmour type fuzz, that nice, just creamy, smooth fuzz that sustains for days. This is your guy.
Oh man, I got it.
I did the night I got it last week. I did a live stream. Man, my brain is just fried. I'm sorry. And yeah, it's probably the, if not the best, one of the best fuzz pedals that I've come across. And I like fuzz, especially this type of that kind of creamy, like just super good sustain type fuzz. It even gets you into the kind of the Black Sabbath, just that classic fuzz tone. So super cool pedal. You can find them on Reverb, Lawrence Petros Designs. Great pedal. Get them. I know they're limited number. I don't remember how many he said off the top of my head. If he's still in the chat, maybe
after the show, I'll have a link to it, both his webpage and his Reverb page. And also, we forgot to throw Dane's YouTube channel up in the chat, or maybe
we didn't. No,
you got that covered.
Chicken Guitars has been all over it tonight.
Sweet sister. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get that done, and also he's got a website for his guitar shop too. We'll get you the link to that as well. I think it's just zimmsguitars.com, but it
is.
So LPD 2 Ravens. Is this going to be a limited edition, or is it one of these wait and see on how it does type of?
It's starting off as a limited edition. If memory serves me correctly, I think he's doing a small run, maybe 10 or 15 to see how it does, and then if it takes off, he'll likely do more. But this is an absolutely killer.
Zane got a customer, so I'm letting him handle business.
So
that's cool. Hey Zane, you back with us? Dane, you back with us?
I'm here. Yeah, I had a customer.
Customer, you got to take care of the customers. Customers are important. Do you have a couple of LPD pedals in the shop there? You want to show us which ones you got?
I actually have 8 pedals in here, and
8
Neil knows all about it. Yeah, I made a big order the other day.
Oh, cool.
So bring 1 or 2 of those over here, and Neil knows these things like the back of his hand. So Neil's gonna.
I have. So this is unobtainium.
Oh, you got the.
I have some unobtainium. I've got some unobtainium. This is the ugly ass combustible lemon.
Oh, that's the prototype.
This is the proto combustible lemons.
Yeah, that's the Vox in a box. What do you got there in your hands, Neil?
This
you
is
got the vermin. That's the vermin.
Yeah. I guess that's like a rat.
Yeah.
It's the not rat.
It's
that's the Phoenix.
The Phoenix
Fuzz.
Phoenix Fuzz.
I love his cases, man. He has the best color and graphics around.
Now the thing about the vermin. Now the original rat pedal had a filter, so as you turn the filter down, the pedal gets heavier. Now
this
normally
does the same thing.
This does the same thing, huh?
It does, yes.
So the level, drive, or tone when you turn that down, which would it be?
I believe it's. I don't remember.
It would make sense that it's maybe the drive.
If Lawrence is still in the chat, maybe he'll elaborate.
Because I thought that was so cool, experimenting with rat pedals and turning the filter down and down and down.
I think it's the tone. I think it's the tone that you actually turn down.
I think you're right.
So
I think you're right. And you know what was kind of fun? You guys came in here 2 Mondays ago. Last Monday, Phil McKnight came in here for a little while.
Oh,
and
cool.
I put all these pedals on his lap and let him play through them. And he really liked the Javelina.
Oh, the Javelina.
He liked the Javelina. Nice.
Yeah. And so that was kind of neat. So I'm getting other people's insights on what they think about certain pedals.
Neil, do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite LPD pedal, Neil?
There's
the
the
Javelina.
Yeah, McKnight
It's a drive pedal, right?
The sound of this one.
The Javelina is a drive pedal. Drive pedal, is that correct?
Yeah, it's like a boost
A boost pedal. Boost pedal.
Like an overdrive.
Single knob boost.
Yeah.
Single knob boost. That's the Javelina.
Cool.
I traded my dude for Lawrence. He's got a new, I guess it's a Dumble-like.
Yeah.
I traded this in for
The
that.
Howie.
The Howie. Yeah.
Howie, that's it. And then I traded these in. Oops. I traded these in for the Choya boost.
Oh, the Choya. Right.
Yeah. I love
like it?
Oh yeah.
I had the Gila Fuzz. Have you tried that one yet?
I've got the Gila Fuzz.
It's very fuzzy. It's
Yeah.
extremely fuzzy.
I've got the 87, the 68.
Yeah.
I've got the Cocapelli. And then I have two others. I have his compressor. It's an old style tiny compressor.
Mini.
I think it's called the Caminari. And then I got the Tamucci overdrive as well.
Okay, that's an older one too.
Yeah.
Have you tried the 74 yet?
I haven't tried the 74 yet. I'm assuming the 74 is supposed to be like a JMP, and then the 68 Plexi, and the 87.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the 74 is kind of like a driven Plexi. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Dave, you're liking that Cocapelli an awful lot, I hear.
Yeah. The Cocapelli. I love the Cocapelli. It still baffles my mind how it's not been like one of the best sellers for Lawrence.
Lawrence is going to have to quit his day job when the rest of the planet finds out about how good these pedals are for the money. I'm serious. He's going to have to get a factory. I don't think he's going to be able to keep soldering all by hand. Yeah, I've had the Saguaro. Saguaro's good.
Yep.
Cool. Well, we got some guitars to show. Dave and I have a few guitars to show in Red Hots tonight, and then Dane's going to show us some cool guitars that he has in his shop. We're going to get some live guitars tonight for the Red Hot section. It's time for the Red Hot. So let's see. Which one did we want to do? Oh yeah. Okay. Let me just get the screen share going here for the first one. Okay. Oh yeah. This is our buddy.
Yeah, this is our buddy,
Mr.
Jason Wade in Midland, North Carolina, is selling a 2018 Fender Strat and buttercream.
Yeah, it's like brand new, and he did some upgrades on it. Nice price and pretty color.
Yeah. So it has a full set. Excuse me. It has a full set of the Seymour Duncan Billy Gibbons Red Devils.
You okay, bro?
Yeah.
That burnt tire went down the wrong pipe.
No, it's my own volition there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's basically bone stock except for the pickups, and that's that's like a $300 set of pickups or more. It's ridiculous pickups in that guitar. So
Butterscotch.
Yeah.
I like it with the maple.
Buttercream. Yeah, maple neck, maple fretboard.
I like the smaller size headstock. This thing's brand new, gang. Look at it. Don't have a mark on it. It's just literally brand new with upgraded pickups.
if you guys want to know anything about it, you can always ask Jason when you see him in a chat somewhere.
Locking tuners,
he
even.
can tell you. Yeah, he can tell you anything about it because he's
Neil, will you
owned
have me
it for quite a while.
Looks like when he put the new pickups in, he went overkill on the shielding.
He did shield. Yeah, I mean, he shielded the cavity, which I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's not in my opinion, it's not 100% necessary especially on humbuckers.
$640 with the shipping takes it home tonight. And like you said, that's basically a $300 for the guitar and your $300 for the pickups.
Right. So, yeah.
Or
it's
you're paying what the guitar's worth and getting free pickups.
Right.
Either way you want to look at it.
Yeah. So cool guitar, and thought we'd show something from one of our own tonight.
Yeah, from one of our buddies. All right, let me get the next one here. Screen share, Chrome tab. Oh, this one's cool. I like this thing. I had never seen one of these until the other night.
This is a 1985 Gibson Custom Shop Edition XPL. Now, it's technically not custom shop because custom shop didn't even start until the 90s. So, but this is just a cool guitar, man. Cool
Very
old guitar.
Explorer metal. It's a metal Explorer.
It's pointy.
Cool checking on the back.
It's got some killer looking checking on it. So it does have patent number humbuckers, which tell me they're probably going to be the God. Where's my brain tonight? Good grief. What's after T-tops? Seth Lovers? Is it Seth Lovers? Yeah.
Boy, the headstock's in good shape.
It looks like it's got a Kaler on it. Is that what the tremolo is?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a Kaler. Yeah, it's a factory Kaler.
Check out the checking on the back of the headstock.
It kind of looks like this Explorer that I have over here, and somebody like took a saw to it and cut it and reshaped it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, those Tim Shaw's. I'm sorry, those are Shawbuckers. Excuse me. Those are Shawbuckers. Yes. Whoa. Yes.
They look how close the shape is to the Explorer.
Yep.
Case and everything.
Don't be showing that, Dane. Don't be showing that.
We'll show that in a minute.
You see how the knobs kind of run down? Oh, we'll show this later. Okay.
We're gonna
Don't show that yet. Don't show that one at all.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Go hide that one in the back for me.
Go hide that one, or at least hide it until Saturday.
So here's what's cool. This guy's asking. He's down. He's marked down from $2,000 now to $1,400. And he's still taking an offer. It's in this is that big Cream City music sale that's going on right now on Reverb. He's got a bunch of cool guitars. He's in Brookfield.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he
what
does.
do you guys think about the Kaler bridge? Do you like those things?
I don't hate the Kalers. I've never owned a Kaler. I've played a few Kalers. I don't dislike it. I prefer Floyd's to a Kaler, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm. That's just you.
That's just me.
All right, now
me.
we're gonna show some of Dane's guitars, but the first one, Dane, that we want to see is that
Kiesel Aries
that you have.
My Kiesel. Okay.
Yeah, show that Kiesel.
I have it right here. It's got the really nice padded gig bag.
And of course, you guys, these guitars, you can buy them. He's got a guitar shop, so if you see one you like, don't hesitate to call him up. This thing's nice. We checked this out when we were in the shop, and I think we played it.
Yeah, we did.
Live stream, yeah. And it's really cherry shape. I'm gonna bring you up big so we can get a good look. Locking tuners.
And this is the Purple Heart.
Purple heart.
The purple heart.
Fingerboard.
Okay.
Purple heart.
I like the red diamond inlays. Those are cool. Give it a different look. Those are probably the Kiesel pickups, the what do they call them? The lithium. They also make another one, but I bet those are the lithium pickups.
And this also has the gold EVO fret wire.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. That's an upgrade. That's an upgrade. Looks good on
Yeah,
that
so
one.
I think the guitar is probably, I'm going to guess, a $1,200 guitar.
Oh yeah, easy.
Purple Heart is an upgrade. The inlays is an upgrade, and then the EVO fret wire is an upgrade. But other than that, I think it's pretty much stock.
Right.
You know, sort of. The wood on the back, you can see
True
that.
body. Is it a
One, two,
three-piece
three.
neck?
It looks like a 4-piece neck to me.
4-piece neck? Okay, yep. Cool. That's an upgrade too.
And you got the Kiesel locking tuners.
What are you asking for that one?
Man, I don't know. This is kind of part of it sits behind the counter.
Right.
And I'm kind of I have those guitars that I kind of wait for somebody to come in and say, oh my God, I have to have that thing. What do you want
Right.
for? Kind of deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, somebody might do that because we'll put up your link to your website and everything, and somebody sees it on this and they want to talk to you about acquiring it, they can give you a call.
It's got the cool carve right here. And it's
Yeah,
kind
they're
of
comfy.
reminiscent of like those new Ibanez where you have a real flashy color up here, and then it's sort of wood grain down here.
Right.
Yeah.
I had the Osiris, which is the same body cut but headless, and it's a really comfortable, very comfortable guitar.
The small headstock is sort of a little Ernie Ball sort of reminiscent kind of
Yep. Yes, it is. Cool. All right, now you got another one in there that we want to see. Well, you got a couple more we want to see, but we want to see that. Let's see that Gibson Explorer you got. Despite Dave's.
No, don't show that one.
Don't show that one. Don't do it.
This is under protest. This is actually the one that I'm interested in.
Okay. Here's the deal. I have another 83 Gibson that I could show you instead of the Explorer.
No,
No,
show
you
the
can show the
Explorer.
Show the Explorer. I am interested in that one though. This is the one I'm interested in.
Yeah, this thing's sweet.
So 1983. I think you might be able to see where the serial number is stamped in there.
Yeah, you can kind of.
But
A little bit, yeah.
Wow.
it's got some nice little chips right in this area right here under my thumb.
Who cares?
It's got some bumps and bruises.
Yeah, but ebony fretboard.
Ah,
I think the
sweet.
pickups have been changed out.
Probably after all these years, somebody probably did it along the line.
But as far as the way that the finish is checkered,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
it's got a great. I don't know if you guys can see that, but
Yeah, we can see some of it. Not as much as you can see in person, but we can.
Yeah,
can
you
it.
see it in person. It's just
You're like, whoa,
it's just cool,
cool.
Cool
Yeah.
checking all over the place.
and
This is wear from the dude playing down there, I
I'll
think.
tell you what, man, you might want to bring. I've never put this under a black light,
Okay.
but because it's got that little tiny bit of chippage right there, and it looks like somebody
right.
moved the. They moved the
Move the strap button.
Move the knob. Yeah, the strap knob.
I think it might have been right there, but I don't know what that is. But
Looks to me like their thumb. He shredded down there low, and that's where his thumb rubbed it raw, man.
no,
Nope,
Nah.
too far. Soda says
you want
checking
to
is
bring a
sexy.
black light with you, Dave. We can put this.
Yeah, I will.
Go in the bathroom and turn the light
Yep.
out. Just me and Dave in the bathroom with the light out and a black light. And if there's ever been a repair done to this,
And we'll see it.
below
Yep.
or the area. that's-
Actually, it won't glow. It won't glow. Everything else should glow like a beacon on that guitar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, it's got, like I said, it's got some bumps and bruises, man. But overall, that's just a cool guitar, man.
I like the
that.
scar. Well, it's in 1983. If it didn't have any
Yeah.
wear or scars on it, that doesn't have any mojo, man. Nobody ever played it, right?
Exactly.
And you would think like maybe it's a fake if it's perfect, you know?
Yeah, that's obviously not a fake. Pretty freaking cool. All right, we talked to you earlier today about a couple other guitars you got. Let's see that cool Epiphone Bonamassa model that you have.
Okay, that's right here. And this thing starts, of course, with this case.
That's cool. Nerdville.
Cool.
I love it.
Nerdville.
I love the Nerdville video anyway. That's a great, if you guys haven't seen that, well, we'll put a link in the description to the Nerdville video.
So Dane, while you're pulling that out, Brad Miller wants to know why don't you post more pics of your guitars for sale on your website or Reverb?
I think basically just because I'm a lazy son of a bitch.
There you go, Brad. There you go, buddy.
One of these days I'll really get it together and start doing that kind of stuff. But
This
for
thing's
now, I'm just kind of
cherry
happy to just wait for people to walk in and.
Oh, that thing's brand new, dude. That's not cherry shape. That's brand new. Still got the plastic on the Bigsby.
Wow. Now that's a guitar that needs gold hardware on it. That guitar wouldn't look right if it had chrome or nickel.
Yeah, I try to keep it in the case.
That's nice. What's that one? What are you asking for on that one?
I've only seen one other. So they only made 300 of these with the Joe Bonamassa inlay.
Nice. Something
And
fell
I
over.
think they both. And I've only doing some research on Reverb and eBay and stuff like that. There's only one other one that has ever been for sale or that is currently up for sale, and the guy's asking $1,500 for it.
Wow.
This has those
That's a cool guitar, man.
bumpers in
That's
it.
a gorgeous guitar,
This has
man.
Gibson pickups in it.
Yeah,
Bumpers.
real Gibsons. Right. Those are American Gibson pickups, right?
Yeah, those are real deal. Yeah.
So it's a crafted in China Epiphone, but it does have Gibson Burstbuckers in it.
Nice. Hey, number 12. I think number 12
Yeah.
infected a guitar I had. What,
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
oh man, that thing's sweet, dude. Cherry sweet.
That's cool, man.
All right, show us the showstopper. Oh, you got
Wait. We still got more. We still got case candy left.
there's case candy. You get a picture
Yeah.
and everything.
Guys, and you know what? Joe Bonamassa is in town here in Phoenix on Friday, the 25th.
Oh, he is. You should go say, hey, my buddy Brian and Walter, Guitar Hack. They said to tell you hi.
Yeah. Well, you know what I did is I went on Facebook and I sent him a message and I said, hey man, when you're in town Friday, if you get a chance, swing by my guitar shop. And
He may just do that.
well, you never know. He's that kind of guy where he likes to go out, and if he's got a few minutes, he'll go. I said,
Oh,
come
he's a
see
guitar
my
shoot.
inventory.
We ran into him at guitar shops. He thought we were stalking him, but we weren't. He was stalking us.
Yeah, and I said, well, you know what? I sent in a little message. I said, come and check out my inventory. It'd be really cool to see you or meet you. And as soon as I hit the send button, a message came up and it said, thank you for being a Joe Bonamassa fan. Here's a link to his new album.
Yeah, right. He ain't seeing that email. He says, Hack says, tell Joe to call me. Now that you got 1,000 subs, Hack, you might be able to get him on the show.
Did Hack hit 1,000?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Hack hit 1,000. How about that? It's all because of Joe. Joe did it. He just spread the word for everybody.
Yep.
Good for him.
All right,
Somewhere between Joe and Gene.
All right, yeah, Joe and Gene. All right.
So now we got to see that Focus.
So now
That Focus
got one.
1000.
Yeah, you got that yellow. Yeah, let's see this. This thing is friggin' cherry sweet.
This thing is cool, man.
Look at this cool thing.
Focus 1000,
So
single
this
volume.
This thing was on Loco Craigslist, and it was a complete mess. I think the guitar was $150 on Local Craigslist.
That thing is so freaking 80s metal. That is so poison.
The very next day, a friend of mine that comes in here and also is a guitar flipper, he carried this guitar in because I'm stuck here in my store. If I see something on Craigslist or OfferUp or something, I usually can't run out and just go get it.
You have to call your buddy and say, hey, go check that out.
He did it on his own, and the next day he brought it in and said, dude, I'll sell this to you for what I paid. So I actually got
that was swinging deal.
That to local Craigslist for me.
Do you still have that bullseye? Was that a Jackson or a Kramer? That bullseye made in Japan, and it's got the bolt-on freaking nut, the bolted-in nut, which is nice.
And I thought it was a cool little
is that a Floyd one?
They used the yellow tape around the pickup.
Very cool. Do you think
so I got the guitar for $150. And
you think that's a stock paint job? Is that the stock? You think that's a factory paint job on that one?
No. The paint was yellow with black spots, just like it is right now. But it looked paint brushed. So I have a friend that paints guitars for me. And he goes, well, what color you want it? And I said, dude, do the same exact thing to it. Paint it. This is Corvette yellow. Paint it yellow. See, I don't even have a cavity cover. Paint it yellow and drip some black on it again. Just do the same look. And that's what he did. He brought it back all fresh and everything.
Looks like leopard spots, man. I think it's cool as hell.
Now, I have there's a guitar luthier a couple miles down the street, and he has a CNC machine where he can make pick guards and custom pick guards to any size. And so I would have to take this down to him, and for probably.
I don't even like that, man. I think it looks cool like that. I mean, you only got a volume.
I don't want to ever put a back plate over any of my springs. I love this. He filled in the holes, and I love that. That's how those new PRS Silver Skies are. You don't have a dust cover on the back, but this I'd kind of like to cover.
Yeah.
Put a piece of clear plexiglass cover over the cavity.
I'm with you, Soda. I'd rock it. I've played it.
Yeah,
it's a good playing little guitar.
We played that. I played that guitar. That one in the bullseye. You still have the bullseye. We could throw the bullseye in too if you still have it.
I do have that.
Show that one
thank you so much for hanging out. Hey man, mad props to Neil for just hanging out and handing me guitars.
Thank you, Neil.
Thanks, Neil.
Look at that.
There it is.
Woo!
And it's got the D tuna on it.
Yeah, I like that one
a
lot.
This is the 1984.
Yeah.
What's that one going for in your shop?
I got this bad boy priced at $500.
Wow. I might have to call you tomorrow.
I give myself room to negotiate.
Yeah, of course.
That's one of the guitar business, the used guitar business is one of the last sort of shops in the world where you can walk in, throw money on the table and say, hey man, let's negotiate on the price of that.
Money on the barrelhead, baby. Money talks. Everything else walks. That's a killer.
He wrote a song about that.
Dang, dude, I might have
about this guitar.
Somebody's gonna buy that. It might be me.
This is stamped right here. It says a second.
Yeah, but I couldn't find any single thing on it that appeared to be a flaw.
I think the reason that holds your tools on there.
That's for the tools, yeah.
I think I had another guy come in here and say the reason that this was stamped a second is because with this color scheme, you're supposed to have chrome hardware. And this
I like the black makes it wow.
And so I know, but you put black on this one and they stamped it a second. Wow. That's the story I heard.
It don't play like a second.
No, it's not nice. It's real slinky.
Yeah. Chicken Guitars doesn't like those headstocks. He calls them hockey sticks.
Yeah, that's what they're called, or the banana headstock.
It's because she's young and she was too young when those were cool. She don't get it. Plus, it doesn't have gold hardware, so that's not her thing anyway. All right, Dane, we appreciate you showing us those guitars are cool. Hopefully you'll sell some guitars, man.
Yeah.
Pay some bills.
That's the goal.
It's always good. All right, it's time to flip the page. We are over to the final segment of the show. Time flies. How long we been on here, man? Hour and 15 minutes already?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Oh wow.
So we're down to Circüit Breakers for tonight.
Yep, we are.
And
You guys-
like we've been doing before, let me get ready here real quick for you, pal. I've got 'em
you guys
all.
ready? Now, I'm gonna just go ahead and preface this weekend in rock, or as we like to call it. What do we call it, Brian? I'm having a senior
call it
moment.
all in
the name of rock.
Rock history.
History.
All in the name of rock history.
This week is a really significant week in rock history. Some of the things I'm going to go cover this over this week. Some of the things you'll recognize. Some of the things might not be so glaring, but we'll just know that this is a very significant week in rock history. So we'll start off October 20th, which was Sunday, 1973. A rock band from Boston making noise on this date. Aerosmith debuted their first single release of "Dream On."
Dream On, and it sold nothing. It
No.
took almost a year before it got on the radio, and then when it got on the radio, then it went, and they were
Exploded.
I think the first hit that the radio was pushing at the time was Mama Ken.
Mama Ken, which is the first song that Joe and Steven ever wrote together, because it was a little heavier. But they started off with what made him was the power ballad right out the box.
Right out the gate. Also in 1973, the Rolling Stones reached #1 with the single "Angie."
Great song.
How about that sleeve for that 45?
Classic.
They were pushing the envelope, man. They were pushing the envelope.
Have you ever known the Stones to not push the envelope?
Yep.
And then a sad day in 1977. Ronnie Van Zant, Steve Gaines, Cassie Gaines of Lynyrd Skynyrd were killed, along with the group manager Dean Kilpatrick, when their rented airplane ran out of fuel and crashed in a densely wooded area of a swamp in Gillsburg, Missouri. No, that should be
The
Mississippi.
anniversary of that is this week, huh?
Was Sunday.
that on Monday?
This was Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
And there's
Sunday.
that Gibson Explorer right there in that photo.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That guy rocked a Gibson Explorer.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, sort of. Later, Alan Collins played.
Oh, that's
Alan
later.
Collins. Right, that's
The reason that photograph's at the bottom is that's the best photograph I could find of the people that were in the band that were actually killed in the crash. So
only one of those guys in that picture, in that smaller picture, was in the band originally, and that's Gary
guy on the
Washington.
right.
That's the guy on the right.
The
Exactly.
piano player, what was his name?
Billy Powell.
Billy Powell
He's-
passed away probably 3 years ago now, right?
he's
Yes,
the guy.
that's
He's
correct.
the guy in
Yeah.
the front row next to Cassie.
Let's
Yeah,
he's-
list off our top 3 rock keyboard players in the world. You got the
Oh, absolutely, hands down.
John Lord.
This guy right here, he's my Skynyrd hero.
Gary.
Yeah. I just
Really?
like watching him play guitar.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
Steve Gaines, the guy in the back, was 10 times the player Gary
I know, but
Washington
I
ever
liked
could
watching
be.
him play. I liked watching him play the guitar. I just liked his stage style. That's-
Just saying, man. Just
All right.
saying. All right,
Moving
moving
on.
on. So then, back in 1950, Tom Petty was born in Gainesville, Florida.
young Tom Petty.
Young Tom
Guys,
Petty, yes.
Driving around Los Angeles last weekend, you can't not think about Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
I'm mad at him.
Every
I'm so
time
mad
you
at him.
go down, Santa Monica Boulevard or any of these, he used so many LA references in his music.
Free-falling.
Yeah,
Free-falling,
that
got
it's
him
like, wow, man, where's Tom at? You're expecting to see him.
Running down a dream reminds me of driving through like Death Valley or something. You know what I mean? You're on the way to LA in the car with the pedal down.
And then, in 1951, Al Greenwood, keyboardist for Foreigner, was born
Nice
in New York
hair.
City.
Man, that dude could play.
Yeah.
I think he's
Guys,
still alive.
here's my story, okay,
Yeah.
about Foreigner.
He's not in Foreigner anymore, though.
Back when I was a little kid, driving around, I was probably 16 years old because I remember being in my car. We used to buy records back in the old days when you'd buy a record through the mail. They would literally just stick it on the side of your, you could tell what the box was. Long story short, I was driving along out in the country of Ohio, and I saw a record on the side of a mailbox in one of those Columbia House records. I stole that record.
So rock and roll.
And it was Foreigner's first album. And I was like,
nice.
Yeah, I just bought Double Vision the other day. I had to have it again.
That brings us to October 21st, 1975. Elton John earned a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Check out that outfit. He could have been the Riddler in the Batman movie.
And then, a year later, 1976, Keith Moon drummed for the final time with The Who at the Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
That's so sad. That dude was full of life, man.
Yeah.
He was a party animal, though.
Yeah.
1977, on October 21st, Meatloaf released the album Bat Out of Hell.
One of the greatest album covers of all time that absolutely matched nothing to do with the music on the album.
No.
Didn't have anything to do with anything on the album, but a killer artwork.
October 21st of 1957, Steve Lukather, elite guitarist of Toto, was born in Los Angeles.
Look at that music man, Luke.
I got Steve to do a yo-yo trick in my yo-yo trick video from last year.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I haven't rehearsed for this. And I'm like, bro, you don't need rehearsal.
No, you got skills, bro. You got mad skills. He's got his own signature music man, and they're not to be sneezed at. They're legit guitars.
That brings us to yesterday, October 22nd. Way back in 1961, Chubby Checker performed The Twist and Let's Twist Again on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Wow.
Both songs.
1967, having a black entertainer
61.
on 61. Yeah, 61. That was a big deal, man. He was a big star. That was Twist was number one.
Hold on. Both songs renewed a radio airplay because of this. And both already were hits, but amazingly, The Twist went all the way back to number one again, making it the only song in the rock era to ever reach number one twice.
It's still a great song. Everybody does The Twist.
Like I said, there's some significant events happening this week. 1965, October 22nd, the Rolling Stones released a single, Get Off of My Cloud, in the United Kingdom.
I love that song. That's a great song.
Good song.
It is a killer song. And then in 1976, October 22nd, Led Zeppelin releases the soundtrack to The Song Remains the Same as the movie opened nationwide in theaters. That's
a great movie.
It is.
I used to go see that at the midnight movies.
Yeah.
They play The Song Remains the Same.
Sometimes they play that and then Rocky Picture Horror Show back to back.
I wouldn't go see the Rocky Horror thing.
I'd sit through about half of it.
Yeah.
I'd wait till they threw the rice and the bread or the toast.
I couldn't get through it.
Then in 1990, October 22nd, Pearl Jam made their live debut at the Off-Ramp in Seattle, Washington.
Look how young they were.
And then, so that brings us to today, October 23rd. Way back in 1965, the Byrds released Turn, Turn, Turn.
Giant song.
Huge song.
Who was in that band at that time?
I don't remember.
Not Clapton, Beck, or Page.
No.
But they had,
no. That's the Byrds, not the Yardbirds. No, that was McGuire.
Yeah.
They had Crosby, I think, from Crosby, Stills, and Nash, didn't they?
David Crosby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. David Crosby. Yep.
Which one's David Crosby?
I think he's the guy with the glasses on.
Yep. I believe you're right.
The dude with the green thing. Go back and talk to the wardrobe lady. Never wear that again. Okay.
Roger McGuinn. Yeah.
Roger McGuinn.
All right.
Right.
Yeah. And then McGuire was the other. It was McGuinn and McGuire. And the only reason I know this because I'm a huge Mamas and Papas fan. Oh. And their song Creek Alley talks about McGuinn and McGuire in the song, and they're the guys that founded the Byrds. Now, okay, 1995. We're skipping ahead a few years. Def Leppard set a world record by playing 3 concerts in 3 continents in 24 hours.
How did I mess that up?
They performed in Tangier, in London, and Vancouver, British Columbia.
Look how low Steve Clark held his guitar, man.
Oh my God, it's almost down. It's below his crotch.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody ever swung one lower than that.
I don't know. Slash slings his pretty low, but yeah, that's
you have to have a custom-made strap to sling one because he's a tall man. He's like 6'3".
If you look at
the tall man
video for Photograph, the bass player is playing a Hamer bass.
Oh, right.
Super interesting. It looks like an Explorer. But it's
like that photograph right there. He's got an Explorer bass, Hamer bass.
Is that a Hamer? Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a Hamer bass.
Dave, I think you missed one though.
No,
Led Zeppelin played the Fillmore.
The New Yardbirds. No, the New
Yardbirds. They weren't called Zeppelin yet.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was in 1966. New Yardbirds with elite guitarist Jimmy Page now on board performed at the Fillmore in San Francisco, California.
How young
Sorry
they were.
about that.
So you guys do know who came up with the idea to call them Led Zeppelin?
I don't. I know that it didn't go over very well with the Zeppelin family in Germany, though, when they saw the album cover.
What about the people in the comments? What about those guys? So you guys know who it is because we talked about him.
Crowbar will know. If anybody knows, Crowbar knows.
Crowbar will.
We talked about
Keith
him
Moon.
minutes ago. That's
Keith
right.
Moon.
Keith
Moon of the Stones.
And Crowbar answered.
Oh,
yep, that band's going down like a Led Zeppelin.
Keith Moon of The Who came up with Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. So now flip me too. So back in 1959, Weird Al Yankovic was born in Downey, California. I've actually met that guy. He's a super cool guy.
I bet he's fun.
Actually, he was just as nice as he could be. And
intelligent person.
Yes, he is very smart and super cool guy. And then in 1964,
remember the Eat It video, and he had on the fat suit. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
So today, a happy birthday to Weird Al and to I'm gonna screw his name up, Roberto Trujillo,
the thrash basser.
Bassist for Ozzy Osbourne and Metallica since 2003. Was born in Santa Monica, California.
Wasn't he the Suicidal Tendencies bass player?
Yeah, I think so. Before, maybe so.
And then he even did that project called The Infectious Grooves.
Okay.
That dude's a beast.
Yeah, he is. Suicidal Tendencies, yeah. All right. So that brings us to tomorrow, October 24th. Back in 1967.
It's kind of blurry because this was black and white TV that was blurry. That's how we watch TV. So,
back in 1967, Pink Floyd are forced to cancel their first U.S. tour after Syd Barrett refuses to lip sync their hit "Arnold Lane" on American Bandstand
with Dick Clark. So they got on Bandstand with Dick Clark, and he wouldn't lip sync the song, and all the venues like, well, then go back where you came from.
So this is also significant because this started to show the chinks in the armor of Syd Barrett as well. So this...
You know what? Props to him for that.
Yeah. Fast forward 3...
He wanted to play it live. He didn't want to lip sync.
He wanted to play it live, yeah. But it also, like I said, it also started showing some of the chinks in his armor as well.
Well, at this point in time, he was already heavily medicating himself. Let's just bring it up.
Then fast forward 3 years, Pink Floyd achieved their first UK #1 album with Adam Hart Mother.
I always wondered if "Get a Grip" by Aerosmith had some vague
You think?
reference to the Pink Floyd album because it looks like
You
the same
think?
album.
You
Just
think?
without the nipple ring.
Right. You think?
What was the big song on that album?
On Adam Hart Mother?
Yeah.
Let's see. There was.
Wasn't "Wish You Were Here," was it?
No.
Was it
I think it was called Astronomy Domain.
Astronomy Domini?
Something like that.
I
I don't know that one.
Astronomy Domain or something.
I've
Well,
only
there's
had one album with a cow on the cover, and this wasn't one.
Yeah.
This wasn't it.
Let's see.
Guitar
there was
Hack has this
Mo-
one, I'm pretty sure, in his collection, though.
All right. So moving along. So in 1973, John Lennon sues the United States for his allegations that he was bugged and wiretapped by
FBI.
the U.S. government.
The FBI was spying on John Lennon. Well, yeah, get in line, bro.
Well, they were trying to report him for being anti-war, anti-war radical for the Vietnam War.
Peace, love, and Oko.
Yeah, he was anti-war, and he wrote song lyrics that
were
made
anti-war.
you sort of believe that he was, in a way, he was sort of a fascist that was trying to take over. When you write a lyric like, "I hope someday you join us," and the world.
He was
will
just
live
trying to
in
be provocative, is all he was trying to do, though.
I know.
Right.
And the Beatles were provocative from day one. That was their bit.
And then that takes us all the way back to 1936, where Bill Wyman, bass guitarist of the Rolling Stones, was born in Lewisham, London, England.
Bill Wyman. What kind of bass
Wyman.
is that? Like how the. It's not a
I
very
think
good
that would
picture.
be like a Vox.
It's got like how the
Maybe.
pickups are recessed all the way down into the body. That's the best picture I could find of him. It's
that's
hard to
fine.
find some of these pictures from back in the day.
And
You
then
know, everybody
that
didn't have
brings
a
us
digital camera.
That brings us around to Friday, October 25th. Back in 1960, a 17-year-old Keith Richards meets an old schoolmate named Mick Jagger at a London train station. Richard takes notes of the R&B albums Jagger is holding, and soon after, the two young men form a band, Little Boy Blue. And
Little Boy
the
Blue
Little
and
Boy
the
Blues,
Needed the money.
Little Blue
It was
Boys.
Little Boy
yeah.
Blue and the Blues, wasn't it?
Little Boy Blue and the Blue Boys. Yeah, sorry.
And the
Little
Blue
Boy Blue
Boys.
and the Blue Boys.
Little
Yeah, sorry.
Boy Blue. He needed
That's a
the
ton.
Boy Blue and the Blue Boys. If it had been Little Boy
It
Blue and
needed
the
the
Blue
money.
Balls, they would have never had to change the name. They could have just stuck with that.
That started Vox.
And 4 years later, the Rolling Stones made their first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show, performing Around and Around, and Time Is on My Side.
Look at that ovation guitar.
Yep. 4 years.
That's
4
a Vox teardrop.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. That is a Vox.
It is
That's
a Vox teardrop.
I saw
They
one
grew
of
up.
those at the Hard
Neil was
Rock.
just saying that they grew up like a block from the Vox factory in their little town.
Okay.
The Vox
Wow.
factory was right down the street.
Well, think about this. 4 years from the time that they meet, they go from meeting, reconnecting, I guess, technically, to playing on Ed Sullivan.
That's amazing in itself. Looks like they're playing like the set is made out of cheese.
Yeah.
There's a better picture of that bass guitar.
So that, yeah.
He,
like-
he
Yeah,
played
Bill
bass
Wyman.
like he was on a stand-up bass. I
Right,
guess
almost,
learned
yeah.
how to play stand-up bass, and he just kind
And
of
Keith's rocking the freaking Les Paul, baby.
Yeah, he is. And that brings us to 1967. The Monkees released a single, Daydream Believer.
That's a great song.
It really is.
I was at the age when the Monkees were on TV. I was like a little kid. I watched that show every week when it was not in the repeats. I'm talking about when it was on.
Right. When it was actually in production, yeah.
It was
I think
funny.
that song
It was like
Rick
Benny
Fry.
Hill American style with music.
And yes,
And I-
Crowbar, there are only two monkeys that are still alive.
written
Yeah.
by Neil Diamond.
Yep.
The two monkeys that are still alive are the this guy and this guy.
Peter Tort and Mickey Dolenz.
Right.
Yeah.
Davy Jones died a few years ago, and I can't
Yeah.
remember the other guy's name, but he died several years ago.
Yeah.
So that brings us to 1968. The Jimi Hendrix Experience releases the album Electric Ladyland.
And that is actually the original album cover art. There's more than one release, but the original pressing, that's because it took me a while to find it. That's what Electric Ladyland looked at like it the first day it came out. The first press.
And a year later, the same year, same day, a year later, 1969, Pink Floyd releases the album Uma Guma.
You missed Zepp again.
Oh, I did miss that. Sorry. Jeez, man. So, also in 1968, same day that Jimi Hendrix released Electric Ladyland.
There's the tally.
Led Zeppelin.
There's the tally. There's the dragon.
Yeah, there's the dragon tally. Led Zeppelin made their live debut at the Great Hall in Surrey University in England.
So this is the actual photo from this is the first time the New Yardbirds performed under the name Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin. And
Jimmy Page is playing the dragon tally, and look at how young they are.
Yeah.
Look at Robert Plant. He's a kid.
Just boys. Yeah, they're just
boys.
Kids.
They're just boys.
Yeah. And then in 1969, a year later, Pink Floyd releases the album Uma Guma. Okay, I screwed that.
This album cover will give you a headache if you try to look at it very long.
They're all in different poses, and they all change places.
That was a double album, and the first, I'm pretty sure the first album was them actually playing their instruments. The second album was just them making noises.
Yeah.
And David Gilmour said it was very unfulfilling to just record noises because they couldn't go out and play any of that live or anything like that. So
exactly.
Not a good album.
Exactly.
So if you look at the album cover, though, that the picture on the wall, and then the picture on the wall, and the picture on the wall, and then the picture on the wall, they're all in a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, like in the first one, Dave Gilmour's sitting on the stool. The second one, Roger's sitting on the stool. The third one, Nick Mason's sitting on the stool. And the fourth one, Rick Wright's sitting on the stool.
And there's a fifth one and a sixth one.
Yeah, and there's
You need a microscope to see them all.
Right. It's still a cool play on the play on photography, but so then that brings us to the same year in 1969 on October 25th. Johnny Winter and Led Zeppelin performed before 17,000 at Boston Garden in Massachusetts.
Now you might be wondering why I've just got a picture of the Boston Garden there, and it's been torn down. They got a new one, right? New garden, the TD Garden or whatever they call it. But that is the first concert where it wasn't in a theater or a right. This was the first time that like more than like 10,000 people got together to see a concert. That's what makes it significant.
This is significant. And a year later, on October 25th, Led Zeppelin's LP Led Zeppelin 3 hits numero uno.
Hit number one.
Number one.
Good record.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
It was considered their acoustic album, but it did have Immigrant Song on it.
The Immigrant Song. I love that song.
It had the song Tangerine. That was an awesome tune.
Mm-hmm.
What has more groove than the Immigrant Song? God.
Yeah, right. So then in 2014, Jack Bruce, bassist with Cream, who also played with John Mayall and Blues Breakers, Manfred Mann, the Graham Bond Quartet, and Robert Trower died of liver disease in Suffolk, England at the age of 71. He wasn't just the
bassist for Cream. He was did sing almost all the lead for Cream. He was a lead singer and bass player.
And then in 1947, we have a birthday for tomorrow. Glenn Tipton, guitarist of Judas Priest, was born in Blackheath, England.
Love that guy. Love that guy.
And that rounds out Friday. And then Saturday, October 26th, back in 1961, Bob Dylan signs with Columbia Records.
He was a kid.
He was a kid.
You know, we talked. I think we had him on last week. He got signed not because of his songs or his guitar playing. The dude that signed him liked him because of the way he played the harmonica.
Right.
Yeah.
And then a year later, in 1962, the Beatles debuted on the UK chart with their first single, Love Me Do.
Another killer song.
And then 3 years later, 1965, on October 26th, the Beatles received Member of the British Empire medals at Buckingham Palace.
Oh man, that's, to me, it's kind of funny.
And their tax rate was
3
like
years.
9%, so they should have got a lot more than a medal.
Like in a
Yeah,
couple
but-
of years, the FBI is
but
going to
3
be
years.
spying on him, and the British are giving him medals.
Right. Well, I mean, but think about it. So from their first single, 1962, 3 years to the day, they're receiving Empire medals.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. That's like right under being a knight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krellbar says they're more popular than Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 5 years
That didn't
later,
go good when he said that either.
no, that didn't go over. That went over like a lead balloon.
When
Honestly,
the FBI got involved.
Turned the punch bowl on that one.
90% on those hit songs they had. They didn't make money on that stuff.
No, their
Right.
manager got rich though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then 5 years later, in 1970, repercussions from one of the worst days of rock era, the disastrous Altamont Festival, starring the Rolling Stones' Meredith Hunter, the mother of the man killed by the Hells Angels, who had been hired to run security, sued the Rolling Stones.
They actually they killed a man with pool cues.
Yep.
They beat him with pool cues, like about
Beat him
10
to
feet
death.
from the front of the stage, right in front of the Stones, man. It was bad news. Bad news.
Yeah.
They were just handing LSD out like candy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was everything was going great until
Until that happened.
Angels got out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Altamont. Yeah. Yeah.
Bad.
And then that brings us to 1992.
Oops.
And Pearl Jam set a career high when the album Versus sold 950,000 copies in its first week.
Wow.
That's significant.
That's like a lot of
900.
albums.
950,000 copies in the first week.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
Almost 1 million in a week.
In a week.
Gold
Yeah,
in a
that's
week.
what. Yeah.
That's
So-
a messed up album cover too.
Yeah. So pretty much, guys, that rounds out this week in rock history. All in the name of rock history.
That's a serious week in rock history right there, brother.
Very significant week. A lot of significant events happened this week. Take a few moments and just reflect. You know, that music is what brings us all together. What brings us all here. You know, that's why we do this. Oh, you're
Well,
up,
this
brother.
next one, we're going to do this next story. It's both a little bit, pardon me, a little bit sad and a little bit uplifting, both at the same time. And we heard earlier this week, if you're familiar with Frankie Banali, the longtime Quiet Riot drummer, came out on Monday and announced that he's been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And he gave this as the reason that he's been forced to miss all the band shows since last April. However, the good news is after a lot of successful treatments, he's feeling a lot better. And he's going to play with the band this coming Saturday at the Whisky A Go Go. And he wanted to tell everybody out there, all of the fans, that he's planning to keep touring with the band throughout 2020. And he's just going to keep going as hard as he can, and he's determined to beat the cancer. So, best wishes to Frankie, and long live Quiet Riot, man, because those guys opened up the whole hair metal LA thing for all the 80s bands that came afterwards. And so we just want to hope that Frankie can get through this and fight this thing off.
It was Randy Rhoads.
Yeah, he was the original.
that was Randy's band before he joined Ozzy.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
it was spring of 1982 when that album went to #1. Though everybody, all the
other hair bands got signed.
All the other
right?
hair bands were like, "Holy crap, Quiet Riot did it!" And all the record people were like, "Hey, let's just go over to the Whiskey and find a hair metal band because we can, make $1 million on this stuff."
They all got sucked up, and it was all because of Quiet Riot did the whole freaking thing, man.
Quiet Riot started.
Motley Crue was born basically out of that whole thing.
Even Poison from Pennsylvania got in on the deal.
So I opened up for Rough Riot, and it was half the guys from Quiet Riot and half the guys from Rough Cut. And Carlos Cavazo was on stage, and I got to sing vocals. But I made a little 52-second video of Carlos Cavazo playing the lead to Metal Health, and and I was up, 6 feet right in front of him, and there was probably only 150 people in the bar, and he still plays just as good today as he ever did.
Yeah.
Maybe better.
He's a beast, man. Carlos is a beast of a player.
Hey, man, how would you like to have taken that gig, fill those shoes, though? How would you like to be the replacement guitar player for Randy Rhoads? Because here's the thing. At the time, a lot of people didn't know who Randy Rhoads was, so it was probably easier then than it would have been. But
that's like Brad Gillis filling in for Randy after he died.
Yeah, think about that. That guy deserves like a medal like the Beatles got just for pulling that off.
Dude.
And Brad
dude deserved
rehearse with
and Brad played very well. I mean, he wasn't Randy,
Rudy
but
Sarzo
Brad Gillis
talked about that a few weeks ago on Eric's show about that and how they were just he saved them.
He saved the show, yeah.
And if you listen to that live Ozzy album where Brad is playing Paranoid, he puts his own little twist on Paranoid that is it's like, wow, that's better. He made Paranoid better.
Yeah, I thought Randy did too, personally, because the tribute album, that was my introduction to Randy Rhoads, and I thought all those little fills that he threw in and all the little extra things that he did. I mean, when I went back and because I'm a little younger than you guys, so when I went back and actually started listening to Sabbath, I'm listening to it and I'm like, this sounds cool. This is great, but I'd rather hear Randy Rhoads play it.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Can you imagine how good Randy'd be now? God. It's sickening.
He wouldn't be playing rock and roll, that's for sure.
Well, he was a classic guy. That's who he's.
Well, as people get older, sometimes their skills diminish. And I hate to even say it out loud, but I kind of think Jakey Lee isn't the same man he used to be on guitar.
Well, I just saw Ace recently. He's not either, but I mean, he's damn near 70 years old. I'm 55. I'm not the same guy I was when I was 40. I can promise you.
If you look at Bark at the Moon from like 1985 when Jakey Lee was on guitar and he was doing that thing where he put his thumb on the fretboard and was doing all this kind of stuff, that dude was on fire back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, you ready for the next one? There's a big event. There's a big sale happening on Friday.
That's tomorrow. That's 2 days from now. And this is the most expensive sweater ever.
This is the world's most expensive cardigan right here.
Yep, the world's most expensive. It is locked in a gun safe in rural Pennsylvania. It is roughly 60 years old. Has a mysterious stain in one of its pockets. It's missing a button. Has a cigarette burn and smells like a grandmother's musty attic. Still, the last time it was sold, it fetched a whopping $137,500.
Wow.
And now, you can own it too. On Friday, when the auction goes live in New York. Of course, we're not talking about just any sweater. We're talking about the sweater worn by Kurt Cobain during Nirvana's famous Unplugged session on MTV. Yes, folks, this is the sweater, and it was purchased by a racing team owner 4 years ago and will hit the auction block again on Friday, October 25th. According to a fashion historian, the acrylic mohair and lycra blend cardigan was likely made between 1960 and 1965. And that Cobain was a frequent thrift shopper who
like to go to Goodwill.
Yeah.
That was part of the grunge thing. You didn't flash. You wanted to look like low key and right. Grungy.
So,
There's
of course,
a great story about that guitar too. That guitar
Yes.
that he's got right there. I think that his daughter boyfriend ended up with it or something.
Yes, exactly.
They're
They're actually still in litigation over all that, but yeah.
The story of the sweater goes a little bit deeper. What happened was one of his like housekeeper ladies ended up with it, and she ended up selling it like after she had it for a decade, but she checked with Courtney Love first and the rest of the family to make sure that was going to be okay with them and they were cool. And so it got sold 2 or 3 times. This guy bought it. So now tell them about the auction. What is expected to bring on Friday?
So the sweater at the auction this Friday, the sweater is expected to double its value, which could put it in the $270,000 range.
$270,000 for this thing.
For this nasty old
Musty,
ass green ugly freaking sweater.
Ugly ass sweater.
And he probably paid $1.99 for it at the Goodwill.
Probably.
$1 day.
50 cents. They were like, get it out of here. It smells.
And just because he wore it on MTV Unplugged,
Here we are talking
worth
about
a
it.
fortune. Yeah, we're talking about
Wow. All right. So we're down to the final one. I just thought this was interesting. This literally popped up yesterday. So there's a new survey out. There's number 5, so we'll start with that. There's a new survey out that's done by Vivid Tickets. If you're familiar with Vivid Tickets, they're sort of like Ticketmaster. They have compiled, and this is just in the United States, the birth price of rock and roll with Elvis and Little Richard and grunge in Seattle and punk in Detroit, right? We can't argue that. Even death metal in Florida. So birthplace of rock and roll. So Vivid Seats determined they set out to determine who are the 5 top rocking estates in the United States. Who rocks the hardest? And the way they determined this is they took statistics based on the population of each state and the number of hard rock and metal shows that they have in their state during the course of the year. And these have been compiled since 2015. So the number 5 hardest rocking state in the United States of America, based on those statistics, is Idaho, which is somewhat shocking. Number 4, these get more shocking as you go. This is what I thought was interesting, because you would think it would be the big population states. Well, yeah, they sell a lot of tickets, but they don't have as many shows based on population. So number 4 is Nevada, which that's not too far from you, Dave. You could run up to Nevada and see some concerts.
Yeah.
And then
Number
Las Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, Las Vegas. Yeah, I think Las Vegas probably has a lot to do with that, right? Number 3 is Utah. It's like the Southwest has the market cornered on the hard rock and heavy metal shows, right? Yeah. Number 2 is South Dakota.
It's because of Sturgis.
Could be. That might have something to do with it. But here's the one that really floored me. So the number 1, this state has 1 heavy metal or hard rock show for every 10,000 people that live in the state. And it's North Dakota. North Dakota is the most rocking state in the United States based on this poll, or based on this survey that Vivid Tickets did. We just thought that was kind of clever, that the way they based it on population. So the states that sold the most tickets were California and Florida, and then New York in the course of a year. But that's because, they have giant populations that are 10 times the size of North Dakota. Right. So no contest tonight, because that was too vague for anybody to guess on, but we just thought it was a little bit of an interesting bit of data that came out this week. So, gang, that's going to wrap it about up for tonight. We're closing in on that
Sure.
2-hour mark. There's the Billy
Sure.
Bow.
Billy Bo.
If you didn't notice, we're doing things a little bit different now. Starting
Yep.
this week, we're starting to announce ahead of time who the guests are going to be, because it's kind of the secret's kind of run its course. And we kind of figured maybe we're leaving some of the subscribers from the guests out of the loop, so they don't get to see the person they subscribe to on the show because they don't know about it. So next week, our special guest is going to be very special
Chicken.
guest next week. Chicken
Guitars.
Wow.
Next
My good
Wednesday,
buddy from
6
Maryland.
p.m. Yeah, our buddy from Maryland. Next, the band hammer.
Yeah.
Band
the
hammer
Band
on
Hammer.
next week. So next Wednesday, 6 p.m., we will be on, and our special guest will be Chicken Guitars the week before Halloween. It could get a couple weeks before Halloween.
The day before Halloween.
Whoa, scary.
Scary.
Spooky.
Night before Halloween.
Oh, man. So who knows what could possibly happen next week on episode 14 of the Live Wires. And we sure
Exactly.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody joining in tonight. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Y'all have to tune in and find out next week. Thanks,
What the-
everybody.
What the scary stuff might be. Hit the like, subscribe, tell your friends, buy a t-shirt, call Dane up and buy one of those cool guitars. Links will be
Just not the
be down
Explorer.
below. Don't buy the Explorer, buy the other cool guitars. And Neil, thanks for jumping in with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
Neals,
really
thank you.
appreciate you coming on, Dane.
You're welcome, guys. Anytime, man. I'd love to come back on sometime.
We'll definitely have you
Hey,
back on, man.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back on. And anyway, you guys have an awesome rest of your week. It's Wednesday. It's Hump Day. We're over the middle. We're on the downhill slide. Let's make the rest of the week great. And guys, we'll see you guys in a week.
Cheers. Rock on.
Cheers. Rock on,
Guitar
guys.
dudes and dudettes and wire nuts. Catch you next time.
We're out.